Hey, man, you forgot your scarf.
Oh, hey, Kyle. What's up,
What's
bud?
going on here?
Nothing, man. Nothing at all.
What are you wearing?
This was just sitting here.
And what? It just jumped onto your body?
No. I just tripped and I needed a new shirt and I was cold, a little bit cold.
See this? Do you remember this? We bought this together. It was a promise.
I haven't given up on United. I still like United, and Kyle, I told you when we started going to games, one soccer team wasn't enough for me. I needed more in my life,
This excuse again. Really?
It's not.
I can't believe I'm still here with this.
Kyle, it's not an excuse. What the hell is that?
Don't change the subject.
No. What's this? What are you doing with this?
You've been distant lately. Oh, my little friend. Aren't you out of town right now?
Yeah, I am. I'm traveling around the world at the moment for work. But hey, we get the benefit of filming these episodes early, so you guys don't get to miss out on anything.
I'm calling it magic.
Welcome to Two United Fans.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Notch. We've got a great episode planned for you today. What do we got lined up, Kyle?
Well, first, we're going to give you a little history about the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We're going to make our way through every NASL team. And next, we're going to take a stop at the Nomad.
Yeah, I was there for an away game. I watched the New York Cosmos versus Minnesota United before I left. It was an awful game that I think all of us wanted to really just hit, break, destroy stuff after watching, but you get hopefully a little bit of a view of what life is like watching away games at the Nomad with the dark clouds. So let's take a quick break and come back with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Hey everybody, welcome back to United Fans. We're going to give you a brief history about the Tampa Bay Rowdies franchise in the NASL, a little bit more about their supporters as well. They were founded in 2008 by
a group of Tampa Bay businessmen led by David Laxer, Andrew Nestor, and Heinz Howard. Oh yeah.
As well. So he founded the Tampa Bay Rowdies, an organization that was named after a team in the old NASL. They existed back in the 70s and 80s, and when the team was founded in 2008,
Andrew Nestor.
I want to name this organization the Tampa Bay Rowdies, but they had a trademark dispute. I think it's actually for the merchandising rights with an organization named Classic Inc. So they couldn't call the team the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They had to play under the name FC Tampa Bay until 2012. The first season of playing, in fact, on the field was in 2010, and they went until 2012 as FC Tampa Bay.
That's true. Another interesting fact about the front office is that in the past 4 years they have had 5 presidents. That's quite a few. And from our inside contact down at Ralph's Mob, their supporters group, we've heard that all the presidents, after a few months, start getting this 1,000-yard stare and their hair starts graying. So don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it sounds like a blast. Perry Vanderbeek, he is their current president, and he actually played back in the old NASL with the Rowdies.
Started his career there.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat that he came full circle to come back and work with the team again. And he also played a little bit for the U.S. men's national team, too.
In the early 80s, he played at the Olympics. He was called up to the... I guess it was still called the U.S. men's national team back then. I don't know. I associate that word or that term with the new team after the MLS and after the '94 World Cup. But anyway, we're getting further away. Let's just get back to the new Tampa Bay Rowdies, who again started playing under that name in 2012. And their stadium the whole time since they started playing has been Al Lang Stadium. in I think it's in Tampa Bay. It's an old baseball stadium, been used for spring training by a lot of Major League Baseball, MLB franchises. It was converted to a soccer configuration in 2011, and this past summer in fact, the city paid for the field to receive new turf. The old turf had got kind of lumpy, it wasn't very good. The Rowdies players were getting injured, so the city in fact paid to resurface the field for the Rowdies.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And once you walk through those front doors at the stadium, you'll see the Ruckus Ralph's Mob. That's the supporters group for the Rowdies. And they're actually named from Ralph Rowdy, who was a fictional soccer player who was the brand identity, I guess, of the old NASL team.
Mascot, I think.
Oh, cool. Mascot. And actually, behind my head here, you can see a little bit of him.
Yeah.
We got this scarf when some of Ralph's Mob came up and actually visited with some of us during the Swansea game, was it?
Yeah, it was the Swansea game. We had a member of the Ralph's Mob who lived in the Twin Cities, participated with the Dark Clouds, watched some of the Minnesota United games when he was up here, and then moved back to Tampa Bay. And he's actually the chapter president of the American Outlaws over there, and pretty heavily involved in the soccer scene. So he brought a few friends up to come watch the Swansea City game over here. We swapped scarves. He brought a golden skillet that he presented to Bruce, and some other pretty cool stuff. It was fun hanging out with those guys.
Yeah. So there's a few traditions from the old NASL days that they kept and some that they did away with. A few that they did away with was their old nickname for the fans, and that was the Fannies. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they had the slogan that says, "Make a fanny of yourself."
The other one was actually the Wowdies.
Wowdies.
These were the cheerleaders that the Rowdies had back in the original NASL days.
One of the Wowdies is now 93 years old, and this lady actually still goes to Rowdies games today. Apparently just a really fun gal to hang out with. She also is still friends with a lot of the original Rowdies players who live in the area, like Rodney Marsh. If you watched Once in a Lifetime, which is the documentary on the old New York Cosmos, it's on Netflix now. If you watch that, you've actually seen Rodney Marsh. Apparently had a really interesting interaction with Pele that gets shown in that movie, actually. So watch that. So this lady who goes to the stadiums today still is friends with all these old Rowdies players and still goes. Great story.
Yeah, that's really cool. One of the new traditions that they started is the March to the Match. They actually march from their local bar, which is the McDenton's favorite local pub. And they march to the match at the beginning of every game, stream down the streets and just cause mayhem, burn cars, kick children. Some of that.
Wait, that's a different. That's a different Orlando. I mean, sorry.
They have a stacked keeper lineup as well. It's kind of amazing. In the offseason, they acquired Matt Pickens. Mm-hmm. If you're familiar with MLS, you've probably heard his name. He was the longtime goalkeeper for the Colorado Rapids. He injured himself and fell out of favor with the team. Clint Irwin kind of kicked him out of his spot after a stellar year, and they grabbed him in this offseason. They also have Diego Restrepo, who is a young keeper who's played for the U18 and U20 national teams.
Yeah, they also have Ryan Thompson, who gets called up for the Jamaican national team. He's also played in the UEFA Champions League, in fact, with Shamrock Rovers, so he was there for a couple of years. So, I mean, this is a really high profile. They also have a guy named Cody Mizell, I think, who's a Tampa native, and I believe it was last year that they had so many like goalkeeper injuries that they put Cody into his first call-up as a rookie, and apparently did pretty well from what I understand.
In 2012, they won the Soccer Bowl. It was a great year for the Rowdies. You might be wondering why we're so sad. It's because they beat the Minnesota Stars. The game was a thrilling game. Went to PKs where the Stars fell. This was the last year that the Stars existed before the rebrand happened and soccer in Minnesota was saved and became united.
Just to take you back, just really quick, we touched on this in our first episode, but nobody on our team knew if they had a job after that game. They had no idea if the franchise would continue or anything, so it was a very emotional moment for the team to make it to the finals. A lot of the supporters went to Tampa to support the team. I've heard a lot of great stories, a lot of emotional outpouring when you hear United supporters today, or the Dark Clouds I should say, talking about that game. Also a very famous quote that came from our coach that day, but I won't mention that here.
Ask us in person.
Yeah. But we're getting away from the Rowdies, who I have to say, like, just researching the Rowdies, their supporter culture, some of the things of that team, it's pretty cool. They're a great franchise, I think. They have some really fun stuff associated with what they do. Recently saw some pictures on Facebook about a benefit that they did for a young kid who wasn't doing so well health-wise. They just seem like a really fun group of people. So if you're watching this in the South or in Florida and you have a chance to go watch a Rowdies game, hang out with the Ralph's Mob guys, do so. They're pretty cool folks from what I understand.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here to talk a little bit about the Nomad, our favorite gathering place. This is the local bar that all of the supporters gather at for all of our away games. It's pretty much our official Dark Clouds bar. And then when the team is unfortunately out of town, we all get together to go yell at TV screens.
Yeah, when the team is in town to play a home game, the Nomad is where our buses, called the Deathloon Express, leave for the National Sports Center. So we board the buses and head to NSC from the Cedar Riverside neighborhood, which is where the Nomad is located. And as Kyle was saying, when the team is playing away, we gather there to watch games. I should mention the team itself, Minnesota United, does its official watching parties at Brits in downtown Minneapolis, which is a little bit more of a family-friendly atmosphere, I'd say.
I would say so. I think that the Dark Clouds would just scare away all of the children.
Yeah, pretty much. I think at the Nomad we get to sing, we get to be a little more intense, I guess. Again, I should mention Dark Clouds don't swear, so we're not scaring away the children with swearing. It's just, we're supporters. That's what we do.
Surly nature.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
But yeah, some of what you'll see if you come and check out a game at the Nomad is, like Notch mentioned, the singing. We love to do our chants at the bar and sing throughout the game. A second thing that's always a favorite pastime is to yell at the refs, if only to educate them. Because a little known fact about the Dark Clouds is actually that we're all certified FIFA referees. To gain entry to the Dark Clouds, you have to take the FIFA training and certification.
Yep.
So that way when we're yelling at the refs, we're all very educated and we're just letting them know what they did wrong.
I think, to be honest, I think, they're talking about goal line technology in soccer. I think they should have supporters referee technology where calls are sent to our bars to be adjudicated. Because we know much more than folks like Pfeffercorn do about how to officiate a game.
It only makes sense.
Really. Oh, one of the other things that you can do at the Nomad is that they have a grill outside that if you get there early, like Neil did the other day, you can grill up some food to eat. Because another thing about the Nomad is that while they have some pizzas that they can make for you, they also allow you to bring food in. So, for example, Jim the other day ordered Pizza Luce delivery. I have brought in some hot dogs from the Wienery down the block. There's another deli next door that makes some food that you can bring in. Or, as I mentioned, you can also grill some food. Other Dark Clouds have also, as you'll just see, brought in some other kinds of foods like donuts.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool atmosphere. One of my favorite parts is the beer selection. Beer. The Nomad has a fantastic beer selection from all the local Minnesota craft breweries, as well as across the nation and across the globe. Great Belgian selection, too.
Yeah, some of their bottled beer, they've got like a beer from Sri Lanka, Tiger. Ooh. I think that's from Sri Lanka or someplace in Asia, which is, I never expected them to have it.
No, so it's pretty cool. When you get down to the atmosphere itself, it comes down to being able to hang out with your fellow Dark Clouds. Go there and before the game, show up a bit early, have a pint, and talk with your friends about soccer in general, about the world, just to hang out and enjoy the camaraderie.
Yeah, I think for me, I've coined this phrase called blue sky blues, because there's no dark clouds. I mean, that's the time between games for me. So if I didn't hang out with these folks at away games too, I think I'd miss out on a little bit of local soccer culture. Because, you go to the stadium for home games, you hang out with all these people, and then on the away games, I get to go to the Nomad, meet folks, catch up with what's going on in their lives, find out news about the team, and just hang out with some cool people. Also, I'll mention, by the way, the staff at the Nomad are really cool folks. This past the World Cup, I was watching a lot of the games at the Nomad, got to know a lot of the bartenders, the other stuff. Great folks. So it's just fun, I guess, being there and hanging out with the folks who are at the Nomad.
Yeah, and it's really a bar in the traditional sense where they're not blasting loud music every chance they get, so you can't hear anybody unless you're pretty much up licking their ear, and no one wants that at the soccer bar.
The other thing I will mention, I mean, one of my fondest memories of the Nomad was watching the final game in the spring season this past year in 2014, which was the Tampa Bay Rowdies versus Minnesota United, and we needed to win or tie that game to be the champions, and every time we scored, the Rowdies would come back and score another one, and it would be like the bar was packed. So I mean,
amazing.
We were singing the whole time. It was a lot of fun. But then every time we scored, it'd be like, "Yeah, Minnesota, go!" And then when the Rowdies came back, we'd all be like, "Oh God, this is not happening. Our cynicism is now coming back in. We're gonna lose this. We're gonna throw it away." Thankfully, that didn't happen.
We pulled it off. Spring champions.
But anyway, we encourage you to go over to the Nomad for away games. Join us and watch those. It's always more fun than I think sitting at home and watching. You don't have to buy anything at the bar. If money is something that you're worried about or whatever else it is, come on down. It's a great atmosphere. Very, very friendly.
Yeah. We'll see you guys there.
Then the mutant mask. Then the mutant mascot. The mascot removes the anal beads.